Welcome to Discover Lincoln Lutheran Night. We are your sixth grade teaching team, and we are here to share with you about life in Lincoln Lutheran as a sixth grader. My name is Laura Stumpf, and I teach reading and language arts. I have been teaching for 20 years, and I have taught 10 years in public education and 10 years in Lutheran schools. Gotta tell you, I love teaching in Lutheran schools. I have 3 kids. They all attend Christ. My son Ethan is in 4th grade. My son Emma is in 1st, and I have a son who is also in daycare there.
Hello, Warriors. My name is Wade Coulter, and as a member of the 6th grade team here at Lincoln Lutheran, I teach science and social studies as well as a little bit of health. And this is my 12th year in Christian education, first at Lincoln Lutheran. And I must say the environment here, the family feel here, the Christ-centered education is on par with any and everything you could find anywhere else. Great place to work, great place to send your children, and just a great environment all the way around.
Hi, everybody. I'm Sean Weeding. I am another one of the 6th grade teachers here. This is my 11th year at Lincoln Lutheran. In my 11th year of teaching as well, I come by way of second career from corporate business. If I have time to talk to you in the end about that, I will, or just feel free to ask me. Married to my wife of 17 years, who's a speech pathologist for Lincoln Public Schools. She goes to various different schools, so she's not just at one place all the time. I have 3 kids. I have a freshman here at Lincoln Lutheran. I also have a 6th grader, 6th grade daughter that is in our 6th grade classes right now, Alex. And then I also have a 1st grade daughter at Messiah named Aliyah. So she's been over there at Messiah for a while. We're going to go in tonight and talk about different aspects of 6th grade. So we're going to try to cover lots of things in a short amount of time. First thing I want to talk to you guys about is the retreat. The retreat is something that we do every year. Well, assuming that we don't have pandemics. Here's some pictures of the retreat we do. We go to Camp Carol Joy Hauling, which is in Ashland. We have kids that are coming from all different types of schools. We have kids that are coming from the Lutheran schools, obviously, but we also have kids that are coming in from out of town. We have kids that are coming from public schools as well. The retreat is a place where we just get a kickback, and we get to know each other on a little bit of a different level. As you can see, we go paddle boating, we go canoeing, we go fishing. We do a high ropes course, which is some of the pictures that you see there, where all the kids are buckled in. They go through a bit of training from the Camp Carol Joy Hauling staff to just to make sure that everybody's safe, everybody's harnessed in, everybody's got a belay team. Just a super fun time for kids to get to know each other on a personal level. We do this usually the Friday before Labor Day, so they've already been at school for a few weeks, but just really a lot of fun for them to get to know each other on just a different level. Like I mentioned, kids come from all different types of schools here. Every year we have public school kids, and every year we have kids from all 4 schools. When they have their class, we don't typically have homeroom classes, but they are with their classes probably about 90% of the time. That's a mix of kids. So we don't put all the Messiah kids in one class and all the Christ kids in another. It's a mix of boys and girls with an even split between boys and girls, and then we also have pretty typically an even split of kids from all the various schools too. So our class makeup is usually pretty diverse.
Our class rotation system here at Lincoln Lutheran for the 6th graders is certainly something just like going to any new school. It'll take a day or 2 to get acclimated to, and it's a little bit different than their elementary situation. But ultimately, it's something that both teachers and the students really tend to like. Our very organized system that's really consistent from a day-to-day basis. So it'll generally be a 4-block day, and they will begin the day with myself, Ms. Stump, or Mr. Weeding. We could call it a homeroom, but it's just kind of their class that they'll stay with for their core classes. So if they begin with me after the hour and 25-minute block 1, they will rotate to Mr. Weeding for a second block of similar length, about an hour and 25 minutes. And then our lunch would be right around 11 a.m. after the first 2 blocks. We come back from lunch, go to block 3. For those that start with me, obviously that would be Miss Stump. But again, if you start with Mr. Weeding, it'd go Mr. Weeding, Miss Stump, Mr. Coulter, and so on and so forth. So they will see all 3 of us blocks 1, 2, and 3 in some order for their core subjects, depending if it's an A or B day. And that's another logistical thing that sounds kind of overwhelming initially, but they get used to that very quickly as far as which teachers teach which subjects in that order on a regular basis. After their third block every day, we have a sixth grade break time just to kind of recharge the battery, which is a really nice thing coming into a new school. You're still kind of in that in-between mode from elementary to really getting integrated into the junior high. So that's a really valuable time for our students, I believe. And then after that, we have our access period from 1:10 to 1:40. Ms. Stump will be talking about access in chapel and all the great things that come along with that here momentarily. So we'll leave that for her. And then the fourth and final block of every day is their exploratory period. And on what we have is A days, they'll have study hall, band, and music. And then on their B days, they will go to either family and consumer science, art class, or have physical education and health. And that's on a rotating 6-week basis, which the logistics of that we won't need to get into right at this time. But just realize the fourth and final block of every day will be their study hall, band, music, or their what we call exploratories, FCS, family consumer science, PE health, and art class.
Mr. Holder mentioned that they also have one class a day called Access. Access is the only time of day that sixth graders are not with only sixth graders. During this time, we are with sixth, seventh, and eighth graders, and there are about 10 teachers at Lincoln Lutheran that have an Access. During Access time, we do a variety of different things. It's really a team building, personal growth kind of time. One thing we do is digital citizenship, which is teaching students how do we use technology in a way that is God-pleasing? How do we best navigate the internet as children of God? We also during that time have clubs. All students get to participate in clubs. We have a variety of clubs. We have middle school student council, we have coloring, we have chess. In non-pandemic years, we go over to Trinity and students get to work with the daycare kids at Trinity. Just a huge variety of things. And 2 days a week during that time is chapel. So children at Lincoln Lutheran have chapel on Tuesdays and on Fridays.
One thing that we do school-wide is service. Service is something that is really, that we're really centered in at Lincoln Lutheran. Twice a year, the whole middle school actually has service days in non-pandemic years. They'll actually go out into the community in about 8 different places, and they do this as a part of their access class. And this is done with all of the access classes, where they'll go out and they'll go to the People City Mission. They'll do Toys for Tots at Lutheran Family Services, or a type of elementary school that might be having like a distribution for Toys to Tots, the Humane Society. There's various different places that they go in a non-pandemic year to serve. We're still serving even this year though. The access classes, thanks to Mrs. Stumpf and Mrs. Stair, they're doing projects in school. The day we do these projects is the last day before Christmas break, and then the last day of school is usually the days that we spend doing this. This year they're going to be making tie blankets for Hope Center Uganda, tie blankets for People City Mission. They're going to be making care packages for various teacher groups and organizations, for doctors and nurses, for places that are really on the front lines of the pandemic, and just a way to thank people. So they're still serving at this time. Our high school is very much rooted in service as well. I actually get the privilege of leading our community outreach leadership team. So I have a group of high school students that have been nominated and selected to be a part of service leaders at Lincoln Lutheran. They come to my class during that access time, which in high school we call it AP. And they work on service projects to lead the school on different types of service projects. And in a non-pandemic year, we would go to a place called Jacob's Well, where they work with the Lincoln Food Bank, and they distribute food to people that don't have enough. We work with Orphan Grain Train in terms of packaging clothing for places that don't have enough clothes. The other thing that we do that the kids really love is they get the opportunity for mission trips. So in the past, we've been to Moore, Oklahoma to serve with tornado cleanup. We've been to Jefferson City, Missouri. We went to Fremont a couple years ago when Fremont had flooding. That's something that not just this leadership team gets to do, but it's something that the student body gets to participate in too. They're just the leaders to do it. So very much we are very much centered in service, because that's what we're called to do as Christians. It's really been a joy working here. I mentioned earlier that that I'm here by second career. I used to be in corporate franchising. I owned my own restaurants for about 11 years, and I traveled all over the United States. There is no day, my best day in corporate franchising is not anywhere close to my worst day at Lincoln Lutheran. It's not even in the same hemisphere. It is just such a blessing to be here. And I've always said, and I've always told people that are willing to listen, that the teachers here at Lincoln Lutheran, we really believe it's our call to be here. This isn't a place where we're just collecting paychecks. There's plenty of boardrooms that I was sat in, and I could look across the table and I could tell that there are people, if they could get a bigger check from somewhere else, then they would take that bigger check. People here at Lincoln Lutheran, they have the full opportunity to go get bigger checks other places, but they still choose to be here. And the reason why we choose to be here is because we really believe that it's God's call for us to be here. And that's something that's different. And we look at these kids as children of God, and we want to invest in their lives. So this is something that I just want to mention, that it's a blessing to be here and a privilege to be here, but it's also God's call for us to be here. I know that's really quick, but it's all the time that we have. We appreciate the opportunity you give us just to talk to you in this way. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to Kristen or Joel in the office, but also to the three of us as well. Once again, thank you for being here, and goodbye.